When developing a Qt application, sometimes you want to display images, videos, GIFs, or change font to a special one. Today, as always, I will show you the most commonly used ways to do it. Let's start with the basics. The Qt resource system is a platform-independent mechanism for shipping files in an application. It means that because of the way Qt works, every time you have a certain icons, videos, or whatever to display in QML, you must add it to your application in some way. But what are those ways? The first method is to add a QRC file and register resources inside it. It is just the XML where you specify files to load. In the compilation stage, the resource compiler, or simply RCC, starts his job. RCC reads provided resources and generates a C++ source file that contains a tremendous array of bytes that represent the resources you want to load. And finally, you will be able to use registered files in QML by adding a special prefix before passed to it. I think the best way to understand it is to use it practically. We'll make a simple app to display the kind of user profile. There is profile images and links to social media accounts. You will see how to make some layout, how to display images, how to load fonts, because as you see there is special font, and how to make this simple app. I already created my Qt quick application, and by the way, full code will be in the GitHub repository. Let's quickly just remove the stuff that we don't need and rename it to, I don't know, profile. Okay, and maybe make it 700 by 700. And let's make width a little bit more like this, and rename it to root. Just basic setup. And here there is my project that I created, and here I also added images to display and the random free font I want to use. I mean, you can download it. I will put link in the description to where I download those icons and this font. So I just added folder named assets and put it inside. Okay, now right click on your project, add new, and here you'll have in Qt resource file. Name it, for example, resources. Next, finish. And as you see, Qt Creator gives us a graphical interface, so we don't have to edit the XML directly. You can add prefixes to structure your assets, then add files to created prefixes. Let's make like icons, where I will put my icons, then avatars, where I will put my avatar, my logo, and fonts, for example. And inside it I can hit add files and go to here assets and select what assets I need inside this prefix. And it files my logo, and the same with the fonts. Here, font. If you open resources QRC file with the text editor, you can see that it is just XML. And here we register our RCC in our RCC with some prefixes, some files. And you can also use some attributes, and you can read about it in documentation. It's not that hard. There are not so many of them. In order to use the resource compiler, you have to edit CMake lists file. As see, we already have something inside our file explorer, these resources, but to load it later in QML, you also need to edit your CMake list. First of all, we should enable auto RCC. It will initialize the resource compiler on all files, and the only thing left for us now is to add here. Here we have Qt add QML module. We already added it resources, because if it didn't add it automatically, could it automatically for you, then just add resources and the name of the file with the resources. When you build up, now let's build, it will take some time because the resource compiler embeds all files right into the executable. As I showed you before, in the presentation. It embeds a file and creates the tremendous bytes array. In the main QML file, I will make a row layout to divide two sides of the window. So first of all, we should import layouts module, then add this row layout that will divide. This will be like a container for those two sides of my window, as you saw on the presentation. And inside this row, we're gonna have two column layouts to represent those sides. And inside first side, it is a profile images. So here I just put width to this parent, this container divided by 2 to take the half of the window, and inside image I align it to the right, so it like stands at the center. And the most interesting thing is here in the sources, in the source. By the way, to display images, we use the image item. Inside the source property, we specify a path to our file. Because we use a resource compiler, we should add a QRC prefix. So Qt knows where to search for a particular file. And if you don't want to write this full path, you can just go to your resources here, and for example click at this logo and copy your source path to clipboard, then go to main QML, and here just Ctrl V, just paste it. But don't forget to add QRC prefix, and of course you can change this prefix. You can read about it in documentation. And before we make the second site, let's add a custom item inside another file that will helps us display a social media logo. Name of it and make links to the external resources. Because as you remember, we're gonna have like 3 links looking pretty much the same way, just changing the link, the URL and name of it, and pass to the image. And to not repeat my code so many times, because it's gonna be so large QML file, let's create just new one, not in the sources, sorry. Just click on your project, then in Qt, add the QML file, and here name it, for example, profile link or something. Finish. Here you have item, and first of all you're gonna need to import layouts, because if you use layouts, use it use it everywhere. And here I make an entire item as a row layout because it will lay inside the column layout. So here I will make second column layout, and my row layout's gonna lay inside, and to not mess anything up. And the image with the text should be near. So in the row layout, it is like stands on the one line, just near. And so, okay, properties are just fields inside my item that I'll be able to fill with some data. So from my main, I will be just able to provide some string in this case. For example, I can source, link, or label, or whatever, and you can make your properties. We will, in the next episode, we will discuss more in detailed way QML objects and how everything works, but for now it's simple. Okay. Next you have image, where I provide I provide icon source in the source, and then put some width and width and height. Then in the text I just provide a label, name of it. As for now it's not link, but I will show you how to do it, just not everything in 1 second. And here we create, as I said, new column layout. Okay, I copied from Word, so it is a little bit messy. Sorry. As I fixed everything, and as I added column layout, put the same width as I specified before, and put 3 links inside. So I don't have to import anything, okay, because it is all QML files that those are registered in my CMake, so don't worry about it. And inside main, I just create 3 links where I specify icon source, as I said, okay, here, Instagram, as I showed you before, how to provide those URLs and how to copy them from the your resources file, your QRC file. Then I provide link. Of course, you can use your profiles. It is not really matter, and I provide names that will be displayed, I mean label. And if we run the application, let's try, let's save everything. As you see, everything seems nice and working, but text is not clickable, it is not links right now, so we can't reach the hyperlink we provide, and also we have to change the font, so to make it more interesting, you know. Okay, to load fonts, we go to here, to profile link, and we can use font loader. Okay, let's make it after the properties font loader item. Font loader item just allows us to load some icons, but if you have a lot of fonts, I recommend you to separate font logic into another file to not repeat the same logic again and again. But just specify what you need later. So you create one object with all fonts and just then specify what you need. But in this project we have some text only here, and it does not make sense to make separated separated classes, separated objects. So I load it directly here, and then we can go to the text and provide font name like this. And to make it like a link, we can provide a mouse area. We can add mouse area. So mouse area, as you remember from the previous episode, just manages the way our mouse moves and handles some events like on clicked, on enter, on exit. And I enable the hover, and when mouse entered my link, I change color to blue, and when it's exited, I change back to black. So okay, if you run the application, let's see if everything works. As you see, we have our font loaded because we provided path properly. And then we have links. We can go to my profiles or something, or your profiles, doesn't matter. Okay, you can also avoid creating QRC files and add in and register your resources directly in CMake list. So here you can just disable this auto RSS, then let's comment the resources, and what you can do also is just edit like this. So you just provide every resource that you want to load, all the images, fonts, and etc. In this case, as I said, you can disable auto RSC because CMake doesn't have to process it, and then you can use your files without any prefixes and in QML. So for example, here you can put just facets, logo PNG, or let's go next here. I have icon source, let's comment it, so it lay in my repository, and change it to just assets, assets Instagram PNG, the same way we can do here. Let's put just assets YouTube PNG, and the same here, comment, and here assets medium PNG, and there is fonts left to us, so everything works. So go here, I will also comment it, and provide new path to my font. Okay, because here, as you remember, we use prefix, then path to our file. It is not very comfortable, of course, to add files one by one in CMake, because suppose you have many files and you don't want to take hundreds of lines in your CMake to load them, because it will be like pretty big CMake list just loading the resources that you need. But if you have a directory where all files should be loaded, for example, like I have this assets folder and every file inside should be loaded as a resource, then consider using something like this. You can, so what it does, and here also I'll comment it. Okay, sorry, I'll comment it and put new thing. Here we use the power of CMake and make a list. This will be a list of files recursively loaded in assets folder. So here, if you want, you can read full documentation of the file function in CMake, in the CMake documentation, because I will now explain just the basics. So this argument will allow us to search files recursively in assets folder that we provide here. Then we specify the directory where we search and folder where we search. Like file asterisk means all files inside, and we put everything to assets files list. And here we don't need to write everything just line by line, and can just put resources and this list just as a variable. Of course, and if you run, I didn't change anything in my QML, and as you see, everything works. So you can go medium or something, everything works. And that is fine. This second method, by the way, where you load your resources directly in CMake, become available only in Qt6. And it is your choice really what to use, because QRC gives us more functionality. For example, you can make aliases to your files in QRC file. Maybe not here. Here you can put some alias and do not write this long thing, this assets local and whatever. Or you can also put different files for different locales. So you can choose what local user have, and depending on this, put different files inside. But as you see, registering in CMake is a little bit faster. So it is depending on your specific case and on your specific goal. And okay, I think this is it for today. Really thanks you for watching this video, and I hope you'll subscribe and hit the like button if it was helpful.